Why, hello there! I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm back with a design team project for Not2Shabby shop using S'more Fun by Neat and Tangled. I am trying to change up my intros. Really tired of saying the same thing over and over, but it's one of those things where you just don't really know how to always do an intro because you get comfortable in what you're used to. Anyways, how adorable is this super duper stamp set? So cute, very, very unique, having the toppings or the ingredients, I guess, for a s'more kind of taken apart here. Neat and Tangled, so original, those guys. Look how cute these little graham crackers are. It's just like kind of makes me sad to know that I'm gonna have to tear them apart to actually make the s'more, because they are looking like they're so in love here, holding on to one another. That's what I imagine in my head anyways. So for today, I'm using my Spectrum Noir alcohol markers. These are my go-to colors for s'mores because I did purchase the original s'more stamp set by Lawn Fawn, and then when they came out with the Sweet Friends this year, I had that as well and did my little strawberry s'more card, if you'll remember. And so these are my go-to colors, the TN2, I think it was the TN3 and the TN5. I'm going to move on to the marshmallows. I'm going to use the TN2 as my darkest, the FS3, and then the F2, just to give them a little bit of coloring so that they don't look just bland and white, that they actually look like they have some character. So this little marshmallow standing on its hands on top of the other two will be casting a shadow over the inside parts of the little marshmallow, so I made sure to color those the darkest, and then going over the entire marshmallow with the FS2. I would have left a little bit of white space, and I do color these multiple times, not on camera, but afterwards, and I do leave more white space, but they're cute. They just look a little toasty, even though they're not toasted yet. For the chocolate, I'm going to use the EB8 and the EB5, and I'm just trying to find my other marker here. And there we go, the TN7. And so really gonna just outline the, what would you call those, the raised portions of the chocolate bar, because you want it to make it look like it's actually standing up. So I did the darkest, the EB8, and then I'm going in now with the EB5 and just adding a little bit of the EB5 to the outline as well here. Then I'm going to color that in with the TN7, and I feel like this is kind of the best combination color you can get with the Spectrum Noir markers. I would like to invest in the browns for Copics. I've had these markers now for, well, I guess I've been coloring for about 4 years maybe. And so as these kind of start to get used up and dry out, then I do want to replace them with my Copics. And just love the way the Copics blend. But anyways, so as I finish up the chocolate bar here, I'm going to move on after that to give them some little rosy cheeks. And then I am going to cut out a stitch rectangle die. And I just want to thank you to all of you kind folks who told me the last time when I used a shape like this one. This is one of the new MFT stitched borders that I got, and you guys told me this in fact was a V shape or a chevron shape, and I would agree with both of those. I was trying to make it way more complicated than it was, so I think I'm gonna go with V-shaped. In any event, I am taking some walnut ink from Lawn Fawn, and I'm stamping out the s'more word here all over the bottom part of the cardstock. This is just 110-pound Recollections cardstock, so it's nothing fancy and still gives great results. I started making my card bases using this cardstock as well. So I used to, and I still have a bunch of them, so you still see me using them, but when I visit the States, I would often buy the Joann card bases, but I find that they just don't hold up. So I'm hoping the 110-pound cardstock here will make a card stay up the way it's supposed to when people receive it. I noticed when I visited my parents in Florida that some cards that I had sent to them, they were kind of like smushing down with the Joann cardstock, so it couldn't stand up on itself the way it was intended. So I'm going to try this for a bit. No surprise here, bringing out the worn lipstick. I think this, I don't know why I'm obsessed with this Distress Oxide and this background, but I've been doing it a lot. Here's the vintage photo. If you saw my last card with the owls, I used the vintage photo as well, but this time I was smart enough to switch it to a circular distress tool and sponge, and it went on so much better. And even though, you know, people swear by the Bristol for the Distress Oxides, but it blends incredibly well just on the Recollections paper. So I just wanted to brown this up a little because I used brown ink, and I think brown when I think of s'mores with the chocolate and the graham crackers. And so then I decided there's a little heart in the stamp set, and I thought I would stamp it using the worn lipstick in the O of all of the words s'mores. I was kind of concerned here because I didn't want this to look like a Valentine's Day card, and I didn't want it to be too lovey-dovey, but I feel like sometimes I don't really get enough use out of the little images that come in these stamp sets, so I thought, why not? And it would bring some of the pink from the top part of the card down to the bottom. So if I were to do this card again, I'm just going to do some splattering here, and while you're watching me do that, I'm just going to say if I was to do this card again, I would have left this panel part longer so that there was more white space at the top of the card for the little images, and the bottom panel, which I cut the V shaped out of, I would have had that smaller with the words on it, but it's okay the way it is. If you're thinking of doing something like this, I would leave that focal point where the images are going to be with more space than the bottom part. So I'm just going to use the walnut ink again here for the inside sentiment of my card, which is going to read, "Everything is s'more fun with you." And I took the word s'more out. I'm going to use that in the worn lipstick Distress Oxide so it stands out with the pink. I wasn't really that concerned about it being straight. You can see that it's not really centered. I'm okay with that. So now I'm going to put the panels on, and I'm just going to, I used my ATG gun to put this down. And interestingly, the, I missed this little part here, and I wanted to make sure it was adhered right to the card base, so I just got out my little glue pen. I can't remember what I was going to say now, but here we are putting on these stinking cute little images. See what I mean? Like, I kind of wish there had been more white space at the top, but it's okay. I mean, they don't need a lot of space. They're quite tiny images, which is, I found it a little bit challenging in terms of trying to design a card for this, just because they're so small, but I think it turned out pretty cute. So you can just see the pink will just pop through just ever so slightly because, like I said, I didn't want it to look too lovey-dovey or Valentine's-ish because I'm going to be sending this to a female friend, but I just wanted a color to pop out, and the only other color besides browns in this card was the pink on the cheeks, so that's why I went with pink. Now, I haven't used sequins in forever, so I thought I would get them out. I used mostly browns, and then I used 3 pink sequins for this card, and you could leave them off if sequins aren't your thing. But I just thought it gave it a little bit something else. So there's the card for today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon. Bye!